First things first, we gotta work on these brows, you guys. They look a hot mess. Like a hot mess. I'm a little scared. What's going on, Slay Bays? It's your girl Ashley and welcome back to my channel. Now, let me just say this. I am so sorry for missing Tuesday's upload. If you guys don't follow me over on the gram, you may or may not know we got a new puppy. Her name is Stormy. She's so freaking cute, but she's also a handful in Barbados out of the country. So I was left to deal with 3 dogs all by my damn self, and it was honestly quite difficult, and I could not get a video up on Tuesday. So to make up for it, you guys are gonna get videos Thursday and Sunday this week, so don't even fret, don't even worry about it, I got you. In today's video, I will be doing a first impressions. It's not gonna be a full face because like I got a lot of shit, but I don't got that much shit, you know what I mean? So it's gonna be a mixture between drugstore and also high end. So if you guys are excited for it, don't forget to subscribe by pressing the subscribe button and click that bell so you guys are notified anytime I upload, which is every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 2 times a week, every single week. Somebody actually told me that that was pretty corny, but honey, let me be corny. Let's get into it, you guys. Today I have some new brow products by Urban Decay. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to use like all of these products because that's a little excessive if you ask me. The brow product that really stands out to me from this entire like brow line that Urban Decay launched is the Brow Blade. This is a waterproof brow pencil and also an ink stain. I've been obsessed, like obsessed with ink stains recently to create very like feathered hair-like strokes. So that's the vibe I'm going to go for. I'm going to take the waterproof pencil, which is just a skinny kind of like precise brow pencil, which you guys know I'm all about, and I'm going to start off by underlining my brow, just creating a very kind of like thin line directly underneath. Now let me just say this, the only problem with a brow product like this is that it does have the waterproof pencil on one side, but the ink stain is on the other side, so there's not a spoolie of any sort. So I'm just going to take a spoolie I have on hand. This one is by It Cosmetics. This is the Brow Power brush, and I'm just going to kind of comb through the very bottom and really just feather out that line because I don't want it to be too harsh, but I really want it to kind of like define out my brow at the same time. So I'm going to take the pencil and I'm just going to do the same exact thing, except I'm going to draw the line at the top of my brow, connecting it with the line that I created on the bottom. I will definitely say that this brow pencil is super nice. It's not too creamy, but it's also not too dry to the point where you feel like it's tugging on your eyebrow hairs. I really like the formula so far. I'm going to pop open the ink pen side. By the way, I'm not sure if I told you guys, but I am using the shade Dark Drapes. And what I'm going to do with the ink pen is I'm simply going to flick it upwards in the direction in which my hair naturally grows, because that's going to give me more of like a natural PC boy brow look, if you will. And I'm all about that look right now. So the front of my brow here got a little wonky, so I'm just going to kind of use my spoolie to kind of correct and fix. I'm gonna just push upwards on the product to kind of blend it in a little bit more. So honestly, after buffing out that product with my spoolie, it got a little wonky and a little bit like blurry and messy. So I'm gonna use a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard to clean up directly underneath my brows. And the brush I'm using today is a Morphe M124. So final verdict with the brow product, I honestly do really like it. I feel like the formula and the consistency, it's very easy to work with. It's not too waxy, but it's also not too drying either to the point where it's going to tug on your brow hairs, which honestly I really like. Very simple and easy to work with. The only thing that I didn't love was the ink pen. I still like the ink pen that I use from MAC a lot better to do more so of those PC kind of like brow strokes. So that was kind of a bust for me personally, but again, that's just my personal opinion. I'm now going to move on to eye primer. I want to use this by Carity. This is the Carity Pre-Eyeshadow Long Lasting Anti-Crease Primer. Okay, anti-crease, I'm all about it. And then with a big fluffy brush, I'm going to blend this out all the way underneath my brow. For eyeshadows today, I'm going to use a different palette, a palette that I've never really heard anyone talk about, and it is by the brand Luna Magic. This is the Uno palette, and a little bit of a backstory. It was created by 2 sisters living in Washington Heights, New York, and when I opened this up, I did kind of like swatch it and play around with it a little bit. When I opened this up, I was a little bit taken back because it has some warm tones in there, but it also has really beautiful pops of color, which makes it very different and unique than some of the other palettes palettes I've seen on the market. It does retail for $34, which is a little bit up there in price point. But again, we're going to test out the eyeshadows on the eyelids today to see how they blend out, how they perform, the pigmentation, the longevity, all that jazz. So the first shade I'm going to pick up is called Mamacita. Now this shade is a really beautiful warm tone brown. You guys know I love me a good warm tone brown. So I'm going to rock this in my crease to act as my transitional color. So one thing I will say about this palette is that it's blending out super nice. This transitional shade is really, really beautiful. You could apply it in a sheer way, or you can build it up to your desired intensity like I'm doing right here. I'm just going back and forth with my M441 from outer to inner corner. And again, it's blending out very, very nice. And I'm impressed. The next shade I'm going to pick up from the palette is called Bebe, and I'm going to apply that with a Morphe M433, and I'm actually going to start packing it right here on the very outer V of my lid, and I'm doing packing motions as opposed to sweeping motions because I really want to stamp the color in this area before I begin blending it out. And after I have majority of the product stamped where I want it, I'm going to switch over to an M514, which is a little bit more of like a smaller blending brush by Morphe, and I'm going to go in big circular motions to really buff and blend out the shade. So I will say the pigmentation on this is super good. Do you guys see how pigmented that is? I feel like it's so pigmented that I'm kind of having a hard time blending it out, but I'm going to take my time with it, and I'm going to go in small circular motions. I'm definitely going to cut my crease with a little bit of my NARS Soft Matte Complete Concealer in the shade Medium 1 Custard on an M124 brush. I'm just going to simply tap out where I want my cut crease to be. And honestly, you guys, this is the easiest way I know how to cut my crease. It's literally made my life so much simpler, faster, and better. I'm going to take the shade, I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but I want to say it's called Dynamite on that same M433 I've been using. And I'm just going to pack this right here on the outer V to really just kind of amp up and intensify the outer V area. As if it's already not intense. I'm like really impressed with these shadows, you guys. If you guys haven't heard of this brand, or if you guys want to try out their shadows, they're definitely Ashley approved. Okay. I'm now going to go in with my lid shade called Dinero, and I'm just going to kind of pat this all over the lid. I've been dying to dip into this color because it's so beautiful. It definitely reminds me of like Makeup Geek Insomnia Pigment, or that shade that we saw in the Wet n Wild Comfort Zone eyeshadow palette. Like, it literally is such a beautiful duochrome that is going to look stunning with this look. BTW, I'm applying the shadow completely dry, and it's going on like a foiled dream. I'm gonna go in with liner. I do have a brand new liner to try and test out in today's video. It is by ColourPop. It retails for $8, and this is in the shade Numero Uno. It's their black, and I'm really, really excited because I've heard great things about this liner, so we'll see how it goes. I'm just gonna do like an intense cat eye wing. So I will say right off the bat, it's black. Like, it definitely is black, but I feel like the liquid liner is kind of mixing in with the eyeshadow pigment, giving it more of a kind of like green hue, which I am not about. Let me just say that. Yeah, it looks really nice over top of the matte shadow, but once it goes directly over that shimmer, that's when it starts looking a little weird, and my liner just took a turn. This is gonna be a pretty thick liner. So I had no intentions on creating a wing liner this thick, but you know what, things took a turn and I had to kind of just roll with it. I'm not a fan of the way that this liner looks directly over top of that shimmer. I feel like it kind of has like a sheen to it, and I'm not about that. The liner did look really good over top of just like the matte, like in the outer V, but once it went over the shimmer on the lid, it was just not the business. So I'm gonna use a little bit of the Maybelline Eye Studio gel liner in the shade Blackest Black to outline it directly over top. So this is pretty much as good as my liner is gonna get. It's very apparent that this side is just a little bit thicker than that of this side, but it is completely okay. I'm gonna go in with mascara. I'm gonna use this brand new CoverGirl mascara to coat my lashes, and then I'm gonna pop on a dramatic pair of falsies so that way it can kind of conceal that one side's a little thicker than the other, you know? Bam! I went ahead and popped on my falsies, you guys. I am wearing the Lily lashes in the style caramel, and I am loving them. They're super dramatic. They're very, very fluffy. Honestly, I just love Lily lashes for more dramatic, like over the top looks, and this is exactly what that is. I'm gonna have the link to the lashes down below. Unfortunately, I'm not an affiliate with Lily Lashes, so I don't have a discount code, but I'll search up like discount codes online and try to find you guys the best discount. So check that out down below. And with that, you know what? I think I should do my post notification shout out of the week. And I want to give a huge shout out to Pearl B. It says, I love watching your videos. Sometimes I have to watch them again to recreate the look. I can't wait for you to hit 1 mil. I can't wait either. You have no idea. It says, you deserve it. You're amazing. Love you so much. Hashtag Slaybays. Hashtag Notification Squad. Hashtag here for it. Girl, love you to pieces. Thank you so much for showing love and supporting my channel. If you guys out there want to be the post notification shout out next week, all you guys have to do is click that bell to be a part of the Noto fam, and also leave me a comment down below with the hashtag Slaybays. With that, let's go ahead and move on to the rest of the face. I really want to start priming and covering up all this that I have going on, because this is a situation that needs to be covered up. I'm going to start off with the No Problem primer by Touch in Soul. Now, I want to say I received this in a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy Glam Bag Plus. I have no idea which one, but it retails for about $18. It's a smoothing and pore covering top secret for perfect makeup primer. Okay. I'm about it. I'm going to pump a little bit on the back of my hand, and it is more so like a silicone primer. It's not too liquidy, but it's also not too thick either. I'm going to start working this in on the very outer portion of my face, and then I'm just going to kind of pop it right in this area, kind of like a moisturizer, and then just start working it right alongside my nose, and whatever is left, I'm going to put it on my forehead. I will say that this primer feels very, very smoothing, very silky smooth, which y'all know I'm about it. Not even mad at it. So today I'm gonna go in with the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. I have two little mini shades here. They're like little mini foundations that Jouer sent me in a very, very large package. Like last year, I just discovered all of these little minis in my makeup drawer when I was cleaning out my room recently. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna give this a go, because the last time I tried this foundation, I wanna say I tried a shade that was just way too dark for me. So I have two shades. I have Fawn, and then I also have Pebble. I wanna say Pebble is neutral undertones, whereas Fawn has more golden undertones. Honestly, I feel like I can go either way. So I'm gonna first start off with a little bit of Pebble, and I'm gonna apply it with my e.l.f. sponge. My sponge is completely damp, by the way, and we're just gonna go to town. We're gonna see what the coverage is all about. Ooh, girl. Did not come to play, honey. Do you guys see this right now? Like, it looks a little bit light, but honestly, I was reading comments from some of you guys, and somebody was saying that I honestly think I'm a lot darker than what I actually am. So you know what? I'm going to go with a foundation that isn't as tan, so that way it matches the rest of my neck. But we'll see. Whoa! The coverage on this is crazy. You know what's even more crazy about this foundation is that you would think it would be a very, very thick consistency, but it's not. The consistency of the foundation is more so like a very liquidy foundation. It's not like a cream, but it has amazing coverage to it. You know what I didn't do? I didn't put on my color corrector. I have to take a little bit of my Pixi color correcting concealer and put it right here directly underneath my eye, because I almost forgot. Do you guys see what I mean when I say that this is a very liquidy, runny foundation? Like, anyways, I'm gonna continue just pressing this all over and really just going to town and covering up all of this craziness I have going on. I've literally switched my acne medication like 3 times this year, and nothing seems to be working, which is just driving me crazy. Can we just take a moment to talk about the coverage of this foundation? holy shit, like no blemishes, no nothing. It covered up like all of this right here in this area really, really well. Granted, you can still kind of see the texture of like the dryness, but I'm not too concerned about it. My skin, it looks like a baby's ass. Like it looks so good. I ended up adding a little bit of the shade called Fawn because it has more golden undertones, whereas the shade Pebble that I used in the beginning was more neutral, so it was pulling a little bit pink, which wasn't really my vibe. So I'm gonna move on to concealer. I'm gonna use this by L'Oreal. This is the Infallible Full Wear Concealer. I have mine in the shade Vanilla. This is probably gonna be way too light, but I'm gonna apply a little bit, nothing too crazy, because I don't want to completely alter the color of my foundation. So just a little bit right there. I'm gonna take that same sponge by e.l.f. and just blend it out. So the coverage on that concealer was really nice. Honestly, the color wasn't too bad, but I'm pretty sure it's because I barely put on. Normally I just like drench my face in concealer, and I definitely didn't want to do that today. But to set the concealer down and in place, I'm going to use this by Pretty Vulgar. This has also been sitting in my collection for a while, and I did get this in, I want to say, a BoxyCharm or an Ipsy bag. Like, I need to do better and use these when I get them. But I'm going to pick up a little bit of that powder and look up and press it underneath my eyes to really just set that concealer. Ooh, that is nice. That is really pretty. Okay, Pretty Vulgar. Let me see you. So to set the rest of my face down and in place, I'm going to use this by Charlotte Tilbury. This is the Airbrush Flawless Finish Skin Perfecting Micro Powder in the shade Medium 2. And I'm just going to press this all over. The brush I'm using is a Morphe E52, FYI. Anyways, I'm going to go in and finish off my lower lash line. So I'm going to take the shade called Mamacita, and I'm just going to push it right here, closest to that lower lash line. Then with an M507, I'm just going to kind of buff and blur out this edge. Just really smoke it out and kind of just connect it in with where my wing is. So after smoking that shade on the lower lash line, I'm going to pick up Bebe and Dynamite, and I'm just going to push it closest to my lash line. So don't get me wrong, I feel like this look is super gorgeous, but I want to add something a little bit different to the very inner corner. So I'm going to take the pink, like the hot pink within the palette, and pop it right here for an added pop. Then picking up a little bit of the shade called Plata, I'm going to put that directly over top to add a little bit of shine. For my waterline, I'm definitely going to use a nude liner because that's just my jam. That's what I do. I really want to just brighten up that area. So I'm going to use the Marc Jacobs Fine Liner Ultra Skinny Gel Eye Crayon in the shade Nudist. Honestly, if you guys want me to be completely real with you, I feel like my Rimmel one, the one for like $3, works a lot better than this one. But that's just me keeping it real, trying to save you that coin. I am going to go in and bronze up the skin a little bit. I'm going to use the MAC Studio Fix Sculpt and Shade Contour Palette. And I'm just going to take my brush and run it alongside all three of these and just give my face some color. Look at that face. This is Stormy, you guys. She's a French bulldog. You guys know how I feel about Frenchies. I have a huge obsession with French bulldogs. And she is a black merle French bulldog that carries tri-chocolate and blue. Literally the cutest thing, but she's low-key the devil. Low-key the devil. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the cheeks. I'm going to use this. This is the NYX Sweet Cheeks Blush Palette, and it has 8 different blush shades in here. I really love blush palettes like this because I feel like you can create your own custom concoction, like your own custom shade. I think I'm going to mix this peach and this mauve together to get a really interesting shade. Ooh, that is pigmented. Like, okay, NYX, we see you. A little bit of this goes a very long way. For highlight today, I'm going to play around with the Sun Dipped Glow Kit by Anastasia. It's very, very surprising that I've never tried any of her glow kits on my channel before. I'm going to pick up the shade called Moonstone, and I'm just going to pop it right up here. Ooh. That is lit. Super beautiful. Also going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose. And of course, down the bridge of my nose as well. So before I finish off with the lips, I'm gonna go in with this by Urban Decay. It's called the Urban Decay Brow Endowed. It's a primer in color. And I'm simply just going to brush the primer through my brows because it's supposed to like thicken them a little bit. And normally I do wait to the very end of the video to apply any gels or anything like that to my brows. Since I do go in with so much powder, I don't want my brows to look like ashy or anything. Even though this primer has my brows looking hella ashy. I'm a little scared. So this is a primer. I'm now going to go in with a little bit of the color. Ooh. Okay. My brows look really, really dramatic, but I feel like if I was to do this over again, I would probably just go in with this as opposed to like all of the brow products I use, but not too shabby, not too bad. It definitely like thickened up my brows a little bit. Not mad at it. I'm gonna go in with my lip color now. I do have like a lip duo type thing from NARS. This is the Explicit Color Lip Duo in the shade Intriguing. So I'm not gonna lie, this is really, really pretty on its own. It's a nice kind of like velvety matte, but I'm gonna top it off with this little gloss here just to give it a little bit of shine. And just like that, you guys, this is the final and completed look. What do you guys think of it? Down below in the comments, let your girl know. I will definitely say one product that really stood out to me throughout this entire like first impressions would definitely have to be the Uno palette by Luna Magic. Granted, it is just like paperboard packaging. However, the color story within this palette really took me for a loop. I really love the warm tones. I love the pops of colors from the blue to this matte purple to this shimmer purple, the pink, the gold. Like I really, really do love how universal this palette is. I feel like my eye makeup with that pop of pink in the very inner corner is very like Havana Cabana, if you get my drift, and I am all about that. Let me know how you guys feel about this palette down below in the comments, and as always, I will have asterisks next to each and every single product that I know and love and will recommend a million times over down below. I got a blast. It's super freaking late. I gotta wash my face off. I love you. Thank you guys so much for watching. And until next time, I'll be sure to catch you guys all on the next one. Deuces.